What is going on, you guys? It's your boy Reaper, and today I want to take a second to talk about the PV that they dropped for Bleach TYBW Cour 4 titled The Calamity. Now, due to copyright reasons, I can't play it all the way through, but I am going to highlight certain spots in this PV, talk about them, and then give you the general information that we have on Bleach so far for Cour 4. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So first, let's look at what we got for this PV. I will tell you, it's not very much here, honestly. It's the CGI type of PVs that they do every cour right at the end of the previous cour. So I wasn't really expecting much, and we did not get much. Now we start off with Ichgoong's Zangetsu blade. Now I don't know if this is by design or if this is just, I guess, a directorial touch for this PV, but the bigger Zangetsu sword has the red highlights, and the smaller one has the blue highlights. Now we have understood for the longest time that the bigger sword is representative of his Arankor powers and the smaller one is more so of his Quincy powers. And so the fact that the Arankor one is red and the Quincy one is blue, that makes sense color scheme wise. One thing that I do find intriguing about this is that they're not really calling it like Bleach TYBW Blood War. They have here written the Blood Warfare as if that's the actual title of the TYBW Blood War, which it isn't, but I've always loved the title of the Blood Warfare anyway, but it's an interesting touch, I'll give you that much. Anyway, and they're calling this the final season. Now I remember asking people on stream when I saw this whether we wanted to interpret this as good or not, the fact that they're saying the final season. And obviously I'm going to continue this video, but I just want to give you guys the opportunity to think about it, in that, is it good or bad for the Bleach IP as a whole for them to market this Cour 4 as the final season? What I mean by that is, should we expect the possibility of getting more Bleach in any regards if they're calling this the final season? Or is it just the reality that Bleach TYBW Blood War is not Bleach, it's Bleach 1000-Year Blood War. And so this is the final season for Bleach TYBW Blood War. But in theory, should Bleach ever come back, it would come back under a different name, under a different title, under a slightly different IP. And so in general, there are two sides to sort of ascertain here. On one side, you have the notion that them saying the final season is like, hey guys, this is all the Bleach you're ever going to get. That's one side. Or on the other side, it's the final season for TYBW Blood War. But Bleach as a whole will live on. I'll let you guys decide. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. There's a shot here, and again, these CGI shots are really, really good. I don't know who directed this, but they're always great. It's Ichigo's biggest sword. You have the blue lightning effect on the blade, signaling Ichigo's Quincy powers, and it starts to change the sword from black to white. Now, for those of you who don't know, and I would be really surprised if you don't, they're referencing the Horn of Salvation mode here, where Ichigo had to expose his hollow blade to Quincy Ryotsu in order to jolt it awake, and the entire sword turns white. It's a really, really good scene right here. I like this. I like this a lot. And then they go one step further. They go one step further and they actually spoil Ichigo's Bankai straight up. They don't care. They spoiled Ichigo's Bankai. You see the blade, and Kubo has explained the concept of this many times. I hope they do a better job of explaining it in the anime. But the smaller sword fits into the hole here of the bigger sword for Ichigo's Bankai, which it does. And together, you get the title card, Bleach TYBW Blood War. And then you see this in the back. The chain, the big hilt, and then the chain extending over to this side. But then before they leave you, they drop this. This scares the hell out of me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This scares me. This scares me because there are two sides to come at this from. On one side, this is indicative of the fact that Kubo is not interested in changing what he did in the manga. And that, honestly, that scares me. A lot of people are going to be very disappointed and very angry if we get through TYBW Blood War and Kubo still doesn't pivot or change or better what he did in the manga for this section of the fight. I know that there are some people out there who were quite simply mad and unhappy about the very essence of the fact that Ichigo's Bankai was broken, period. I am not in that boat. Just so we're clear, I'm not on the side of someone who doesn't want Ichigo's Bankai to be broken at all, because it's part of selling Yuha as the domineer and force that he is. The thing that needs to be changed, or the thing that needs to be fixed, if you want to call it that, is that you can't use Yuha's ability to break bankais in the future as an excuse to not tell us or show us the true power of Ichigo's bankai. That is the problem. Because at the end of the day, Ichigo goes bankai, it gets broken, it gets fixed, and he still fights. And so it's not like the bankai remained unfixed forever, it gets fixed. I'm just saying, after it gets fixed, if Kubo really wants to do that shocking moment where the bankai gets broken, if he really wants to do that, go ahead. But you can't use that as a cover-up to hide us from finding out what Ichigo's bankai truly does. That is my angle on this part. That is my perspective on this matter. We need to know what Ichigo's bankai true ability is. Whether it's cut, whether it's not, I don't give a damn. We need to know. So, that's my take. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. But let's see, what else do we got? So, yeah, obviously this is crazy that he showed it. And then you have this. Now, if I remember correctly, let me actually check here for a second. Give me a moment. Let me check this. I wanted to check Cour 1 going into Cour 2. And when Cour 1 dropped their CGI-esque trailer or PV for Cour 2, and, you know, it had all these CGI shots, which are, you know, synonymous with Bleach and everything. When they did this, they actually had anime footage to go with it. And so, like, at the end of Cour 1, they at the very least had anime footage to add as they did what they did. You can see it right here. And then, if we jump forward to from Cour 2 to Cour 3, give me one moment. And then when we jump from Cour 2 to Cour 3, we still got actual animation scenes combined with the CGI shots, as you can see here. Yep, like we actually saw anime footage in addition to the CGI shots. So it's very interesting that when we come to what we have now, that this has absolutely no animation shots. Now, this to me means a few things. Number one, they don't have a release date for this video. There's no release date for when Bleach Thousand Year Blood or Cour 4 will arrive. From Cour 1 into Cour 2, they had 2023 down. And then from Cour 2 into Cour 3, they had 2024 down. However, from Cour 3 into Cour 4, there is no release date. Now, what does that mean? I don't think that the fact that there's no release date, I don't believe that that's a bad thing. In fact, I believe that's a good thing. I believe the reason why there is no release date is because A, they actually haven't started working, and B, because they're actually not going to rush this. They're going to take their time with this. Unlike Cour 2 into Cour 3, what I believe happened is they did Cour 1 and Cour 1 was a success, and they kind of rushed themselves into Cour 2 and learned that they could not keep up and they weren't able to keep up the high standards set by Cour 1. And then from Cour 2 into Cour 3, they ended up, in my opinion, they delayed the airing of the anime in order to do all the managerial shakeups that they did. Rebranding as Hero Films, the delegation of authority changing from Murata being series director and Taguchi being chief series director. New people came in, new PAs, things of that nature. Things changed from Cour 2 to Cour 3. And so the fact that there isn't a date now, to me, is good news. I enjoy the fact that they don't have it because it means they're going to take their time and they're not going to rush through this. If I had to give a prediction, not a leak, no insight, a prediction, I'm predicting that being that we're in December 2024, at the earliest, we're talking, because again, we didn't even get a date here. So at the earliest, I'm thinking late 2025 at the earliest, or summer 2026 at the latest. That's my ballpark. It's either going to be literally like we're here a year from now, next year around fall, winter time. There you go. Or they'll extend it a little bit beyond that to spring 2026 or summer 2026. Personally, for me, I don't mind if we don't hear about Bleach Thousand Year Blood War anime until early 2026. I'm not complaining because they need to put in the work. Because this next cour is the most important cour of it all. It's how you start and how you finish. They started Cour 1, they came back with a big bang, it was amazing. And then they went into Cour 2, and they bit off more than they could chew. They thought they were hot stuff. They were not. They got punched, and it became 1-1. They pivoted, they changed, they adapted, they came back with Cour 3, and they hit the ground running. Cour 3 was amazing. You have to stick the landing for Cour 4. You cannot botch this. Take your time, get what you need, do it right. One other thing that I'll say, and people are going to hate me for saying this. I know that people are going to be mad at me for saying this, but I have to say it anyway, because that's what I do here. I'll tell you what you need to know. Does anyone think that it's possible for Cour 4 to be 10 episodes instead of the usual 12 or 13? Right now, we are at 40 episodes of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. There's no rule that says you have to stop at an even number or at a whole number or whatever. There is no rule here. However, I'm just going to put it out there. What Bleach fans have been doing for the longest is they look at how much manga content is left. They look at how much we adapt. They look at how easy or how excited the animation staff is to add in new content. And they say, oh, we have 12 to 13 episodes of Cour 4 left, and so we're going to get that much more content to fill in the gaps and everything will be okay. Now, that's fine to think about. However, I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't tell you the alternative. What if, instead of going 12 to 13, in order to end at 50 episodes flat, they do 10? What about that? Now, look, I don't want them to do this. I would be extremely mad if they did this, but that is a possibility. What if they say, we can give you guys all the extra content we need, and we can do right by the final battles in Bleach in 10 episodes, not 12 and not 13, so that we end 1000 Year Blood War at an even 50. What would you guys say about that? I'm not going to answer the question for you. You're going to have to answer that yourself. Tell me in the comment section down below. And finally, the last thing I'll mention here is the title. The title of Cour 4. It's going to be entitled The Calamity. So far, it's Cour 1, The Blood Warfare, Cour 2, The Separation, Cour 3, The Conflict, Cour 4, The Calamity. I love the choice to use The Calamity. And if I remember correctly, a few months back, Kubo was on Club Outside talking about coming up with ideas for what they're going to call Cour 4. Well, I guess now we know. It's going to be called The Calamity. And that name alone has a measure of dread that has me quaking in my boots for what might happen to our heroes. Calling the final core of Bleach The Calamity does great to set the tone for what is most likely to come. So overall, my main takeaways from this PV is Bleach 1000 Year Blood War doesn't really care about spoiling. They will spoil the hell out of you and they won't care. That's number one. Number two, we are not out of the woods yet when it comes to Ichigo's Bankai. There is still a very good chance that Kubo doesn't change what he did, and I'm going to be really sad and a little bit angry if he sticks to his guns on what he did in the manga. It wasn't good enough, Kubo. You need to do better in that regard. Do it. That's number two. Number three, no release date for me is a good sign of our production health, and I'm excited for what they can do. And finally, The Calamity is an expertly great name for the final core of 1000 Year Blood War. Oh, and I guess number five, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that they're calling this the final season, because at the end of the day, 1000 Year Blood War is Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. The actual main show is Bleach. So 1000 Year Blood War can come to an end, but Bleach doesn't necessarily have to. If they wanted to do another spin-off, if they wanted to do a continuation in any regard, it wouldn't be called Bleach 1000 Year Blood War The Hell Arc. It would just be called Bleach House of the Jaws of Hell or something. So Bleach is the main thing. 1000 Year Blood War can end, but Bleach doesn't have to. So I will leave you guys there with that. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next Rebirth video. This is your boy, signing out. Peace.